Hello YouTubers! This ninth video will try to explain Bell's theorem of light polarization, weird phenomena of light quanta particle. Video will try to explain this weird phenomena via perspective of light wave and via effect of light polarization filters. Main premise of this video is that light polarization is a reversible process, so initial condition can be changed and we get different result. Before explaining reversible polarization, first we will look at processes of light absorption, filtration or blockage through irreversible light absorption case. In picture we have semi-transparent material. Light beam with initial light intensity goes through this material in distance x. Remaining intensity of light exiting material equals to remaining light intensity magnitude calculates according Beer-Lambert law equation, where eta is transparency factor of a material and is constant value. Beer-Lambert law equation shows level of attenuation, absorption or filtration of light to the properties of the material through which the light is traveling. We convert number intensity into discrete quantity of light photons before entering semi-transparent material and after exiting material. This fact will be important to explain Bell's theorem and light polarization by materials. This semi-transparent materials only absorbs, blocks, scatters light with no possibility to regain initial value. On other hand, polarization materials theoretically can allow to reverse and regain initial value. Light polarization is a reversible process, where in Beer-Lambert equation, when initial light intensity is constant, and to light intensity traveling through semi-transparent material depends only from thickness of material, and this process is irreversible. In general, all physics processes based on this notion of irreversible. Free energy is impossible. Always exist losses and entropy of time arrow always goes forward. Turn back time to regain initial magnitude is impossible task. Bell's theorem is a no-go theorem that draws a distinction between quantum mechanics and the world as described by classical mechanics, particularly concerning quantum entanglement, where two or more particles in a quantum state continue to be mutually dependent, even at large physical separations. This theorem is named after physicist John Stuart Bell. This definition and other definitions connected with this phenomena contain very bizarre and weird scientific jargon. No-go, entanglement, paradox, no locality, spooky action at the distance, local hidden variables, superluminal, loopholes. My reason to make this video is to refute entanglement phenomena which require superluminal effect. It means light particles communicate with each other faster than speed of light. So to speak, spooky action at the distance. I don't think that light speed is technically physics constant, like Planck constant, but I believe that speed of light is ultimate boundary limit of possible speed on Earth. And no object, even light, cannot travel faster than speed of light. In chapter Irreversible Light Absorption, we described light intensity decay as process of light photons absorption. Term coined by Isaac Newton was corpuscular, in Latin means particle, or new term light photon. All light polarization phenomena explanation will be based entirely on property of light wave. As we know, light wave consists of two electromagnetic waves 90 degrees perpendicular to each other, and light direction travels forward in spiral double helix coil trajectory. And light propagation through space described via Euler equation for complex numbers. Light wave always consists of two fields, electric cosine and magnetic sine, with equal measurement unit with constant magnitude equal to unit 1. Second very important fact is eye and vision perception of all creatures only perceive electric field. Magnetic field have no impact on vision, but light without magnetic field cannot exist as electromagnetic wave. This is very important factor to explain polarization effect, because polarization only has impact to electric field. Polarization effect has no impact to magnetic field. A polarization is a property applying to transverse waves. In a transverse wave, the direction of the oscillation is perpendicular to the direction of motion of the wave. Like example, water surface waves or guitar string wave vibrations. My point that material who have ability to polarize electromagnetic waves only have impact to electric field. In picture we have linearly polarized light electric field. Circular spiral electric field flux made of various angles orientated arrow lines, and material allows only specifically inclined arrows pass through. Other orientation arrows are filtered out, or more precisely termed blocked. I will agree and disagree with this representation. This situation, when fact is true and false at the same time, or argument with valid result has contra-argument with also valid result, is called a paradox. This chapter is based on YouTube channel Minute Physics with collaboration with Free Blue One Brown. I suggest to watch full-length video. My explanation focuses on other issue of this phenomena. In picture above we have two collinear polarization filters with 0-degree angle. Through first filter passes initial intensity light beam. Through second goes intensity calculated according to Malus equation to light polarization. Second example below, when filters are perpendicular to each other, 0% light passes second filter according to Malus equation. Paradox starts when we introduce third and more polarization filters in between two, as example shown in picture. When we have two filters with polarization angle 45 degree, according to Malus equation, 50% of initial light intensity passes and equally 50% are blocked. When we introduce third filter in between, 22,5 degree, result gets paradoxical, and third filter makes final result equal to. Extra third filter allows 23% more light compared with two filters with same angle configuration. Not going deep into the details is still weird situation. Just common sense tells that introduce third filter into light beam pathway gives final result of light intensity more brighter. Just this fact creates paradoxical situation. More filters we insert with angles in between, more brighter result in the end we get. Our vision only based on perception of light electric field, and in Gauss measure unit electric and magnetic field are equal to each other. circular spiraling light trajectory of electric field represented as electric field arrows with various polar coordinates angles, and polarization filters block some angle of electric field if their rotation angle coincides with electric field angle. Of course, dimming by weakening individual light wave is impossible. That is not allowed by quanta. Quanta means discrete particle. Light wave is particle, and energy carried by quanta, light photon, cannot be fractional. Don't exceed half photon or 2/3 photon. Photons are always whole discrete integer numbers. Fact that after polarization filters light becomes dimmer stays. This property is related to property of transcendental numbers E and pi, and electric and magnetic field flux density continuity. For more details, I suggest to watch my 8th video named Light is Mathematics Part 3 about light wave smoothness. This chapter will be deeper explanation, primarily focus on field flux density and wave continuation after polarization. In picture we have electric field circular motion evolving in x, y coordinates, where an arrow represents spiraling angles in polar coordinates. Filters block some angles and other angles allowed to pass, and this blockage of electric field numerically can be solved by Maloo's equation. Which makes sense. Electric field flux lines are blocked and light looks dimmer. I will try this contradict by pointing that electric field amplitude always equals to unit 1. And most importantly, electric field is continuously smooth without sharp edges, and light is electromagnetic wave. This definition means light cannot exist without magnetic field flux and vice versa. Electric field density is infinity, and electric field line thickness at every time moment equal to 0. Light wave electric field amplitude is equal to non-dimensional magnitude unit 1. Length ds and angle d theta is non-dimensional measure of circle length and angle at the same time. Electric field flux density made of infinity number sequence. This property has only magnetic, electric, and gravity field. And in my opinion, gravity field is consequence of magnetic field. We all heard at school story about Isaac Newton sleeping under the apple tree and discovery of Earth gravity force law. Only gravity vector field has infinity packing density, so it is not lines with gaps, but more like apple sliced in half, where magnetic field lines fills all space. What about iron fillings magnetic field lines experiment in school, or haircut in magnetic field lines in oil? They only show vector field direction and shape. Iron fillings and human haircut are not evenly distributed in space, because their imperfection makes iron fillings or haircut clump into larger cluster. They are not real visual representation of lines with infinity packing density. Newton created calculus. Latin word for this method is fluxion. Latin flux in English means flow. And we compare integration method, which deals with infinitesimal small sizes with finite size summation. Polar angle d theta equals 0. Integration takes in account every possible space line to get area equal to unit 1. It means if we have electric field made from infinite vector field lines, with packing density equal to infinity and polarization filter blocks n magnetic field lines, and we presume that n magnetic field lines is very large number, let's say n is Gogol number, fact is that electric field packing is infinity. So electric field stays smooth curve without any damage. Of course, this infinity electric field requires proof, and proof comes from transcendental number pi. In math exist two infinities. N, natural infinity, is whole numbers infinity, where infinity called countable infinity. Like electromagnetic waves, photons or quanta are discrete whole integer numbers. Aleph infinity can count every possible number, including pi itself or other transcendental number like E. This infinity is uncountable because it contains every possible number variation, and these variations are infinity many. Polarization based on this infinity. Trigonometric sine and cosine function consist of transcendental number pi, which never ends, and consist of infinity number sequences, so polarization cannot block electric field lines. By ignoring origin of gravity, magnetic and electric fields, gaps inside these fields not allowed. They must have infinite density, and only pi and constant E has infinite number sequences as math constant used in every physics and science branch. This by the way shows that space-time continuous and shows that space-time is mathematical construct created by using pi and E numbers. Electric field arrow lines in physics are called vector lines to define vectorial unit of force, pressure, velocity, where a vector field line arrow defines direction, angle, and length of line magnitude of force, pressure, or velocity. But that is not correct 100%. Electric field arrow is material line and is mathematical or philosophical concept, where a physics vector line is more utilitarian, useful to simplify complex physics tasks to solve more abstractly. In mathematics, material point are called point with no dimension or zero radius point, where all mass concentrated in one single point, useful to solve math and physics tasks like calculate kinetic and potential energy transformation and etc. Material line have magnitude and direction arrow same as vector line have, only per instantaneous infinitesimal time period dt equals 0. Material line have thickness and angle equal to 0. This is a basis of calculus. Frequency of electromagnetic waves is equal to. This property of electric, magnetic, and gravity field solves tangent paradox of functions.
Luckily, there is a really nice visual understanding for what it means to ask what this ratio approaches. Remember, for any specific choice of dt, this ratio ds dt is the slope of a line passing through two separate points on the graph, right? Well, as dt approaches 0, and as those 2 points approach each other, the slope of the line approaches the slope of a line that's tangent to the graph at whatever point t we're looking at. So the true, honest-to-goodness, pure math derivative is not the rise over run slope between two nearby points on the graph. It's equal to the slope of a line tangent to the graph at a single point. Now, notice what I'm not saying. I am not saying that the derivative is whatever happens when dt is infinitely small, whatever that would mean. Nor am I saying that you plug in 0 for dt. This dt is always a finitely small, non-zero value. It's just that it approaches 0 is all.
According author of this video, instantaneous rate of change is not a paradox, but more like oxymoron, so very contradictory in nature. Definition of time is: arbitrary time is measurement of time between two events. Time equal 0. We measure time difference. Time difference equals 0. Instantaneous time is oxymoron. My point of this video was to solve quantum entanglement or phenomena faster than speed of light in process of light polarization. Physics term superluminal. Instantaneous transfer information through space with infinity speed of light in reality is property of electric field made of from infinity thin lines equals to 0. ds equal d theta equals 0. So, and with instantaneous time measurement dt equals 0. Light wave moves in double helix circular spiral trajectory. Better explanation of electric field blockage by polarization filters can be explained by this video clip, the Banach-Tarski paradox with extra concept of infinity as a Hilbert Hotel thought experiment by Vsauce.
Point from the circle, that point is gone, right? Infinity tells us it doesn't matter. The circumference of a circle is irrational. It's the radius times 2 pi. So if we mark off points beginning from the hole, every radius length along the circumference going clockwise, we will never land on the same point twice. Ever. We can count off each point we mark with a whole number. So this set is never ending, but countable, just like guests in rooms in Hilbert's hotel. And like those guests, even though one has checked out, we can just shift the rest, move them counterclockwise, and every room will be filled. Point 1 moves to fill in the hole, point 2 fills in the place where point 1 used to be, 3 fills in 2, and so on. Since we have an unending supply of numbered points, no hole will be left unfilled. The missing point is forgotten. We apparently never needed it to be complete.
If filter blocks some electric field angle theta calculated by Malus equation to electromagnetic waves, this has no impact, and light particle moves through polarization filters undamaged a smooth continuous wave. Electric field made from infinity long sequence of numbers, so after polarization light wave still carries full information about light wave.
Pi divided by m, so that's kind of going up there. So let's just go for m is equal to 3, okay? Let's just draw this. So there we go, 1 over here, pi over 3 up there. And then we have to do cubes, right? So 3 times, same triangle scaling and so on, what we've just done. And it gets us over there, okay? Right. Now, what's going to happen when I make this m bigger? Okay, well, the one stays the same. I make the m bigger, that means that this number here gets smaller, right? Gets smaller. That means that it's going to wander down here. It's going to get closer and closer to this point. And actually I can make it as close to this point as I want, right? As close to 1 as I want. By making m bigger and bigger. It's just going to wander down here, down here, down here, down here. Means the spiral is going to wrap close to the unit circle. Well, let's just do it, okay? So, crank up to 4 triangles now. Crank up to 5 triangles now. It's wrapping closer, right? 5 to 6. Now, let's just let it go and see how that guy here gets closer and closer to -1. It's real magic happening, about to happen. So ready to go for the magic? Okay, there we go. Cranking it up all the way, well, not all the way, up to 100. But you can see it's really getting closer and closer to -1, so it's pretty obvious why, right? I mean, the bit that's obvious so far is that because that guy here wanders down and down, it gets closer and closer to the unit circle, we should get a closer and closer wrap around the unit circle. But what's not clear at the moment, maybe, is why we don't wrap further or closer. Why do we just go halfways around? And for that, you have to remember what I said at the very beginning, this reminder about the length of this semicircle. What's the length of the semicircle again? It's pi, okay? It's pi.
In the end of this 9th video, before conclusion, a bit of food for thought. We know from first grade that the last number in decimal number system is 9. 10 is just boring repetition of the same 1. 10 is just 1 plus 0, but also 9 has duality. Countable infinity. My theory is that countable infinity with all natural numbers ends with 9 as last digit. But also exists an uncountable infinity, whom has no end and no beginning, alpha and omega. To wrap mind around this infinity is a bit complicated, but it is very necessary to explain light wave polarization. Light photons numbers going through polarization filters always equal to initial value. Polarization has not absorbed single photon. All photons go through filters. In this theory, electric field never absorbed and goes through. Intensity are calculated by Malus equation. This sounds paradoxical, but has valid premise because electromagnetic light wave cannot exist as one single field, electric light or magnetic light. Electric and magnetic fields have same units and equal to unit 1, so Malus equation can be converted as Pythagoras equation to perpendicular triangle. Energy carried by a photon is equal to 1 or 100%. So Malus equation blocks our vision, makes light less brighter, but magnetic field together with electric field still carries 1 or 100% of initial energy of photon. That is all, folks. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe.